thing that we think, that I personally think is the most important part, is what you do before you write the business plan. And that's what we'll talk about today. And let's talk about why we're here talking about this today. And so this is two companies you may have heard of, Microsoft and Google. So in 1985, oh, I'm not supposed to leave this big. First quarter 1985, Microsoft earned $26 million. They're expecting $19 billion in the second quarter of this year. That's a 1,000-fold increase in revenue in 25 years. Google did it in 8, right? 86 million to $24 billion. So when you get the right opportunity, and we'll talk about what I mean by opportunity, and the right business model, and before you write a business plan, you need the opportunity in the business model. And then you write the business plan, which really is about capturing the opportunity and managing the risk. So the gentleman here was talking about the risk of which mushroom, which technology, how do you do this? If you get it right, people have made a lot of money. And the people at Google made a lot of money in not a very long time. What that really was an opportunity, right? Crime in New York City has dropped 27% since 2001, and it's now the safest city in the United States. So what that means is, it's gone from being one of the most dangerous cities in the 1990s to the safest city today. And how did they do it? They did it by buying a data warehouse, computer, right? And by taking all of these big giant databases and putting them together. Turns out that to solve crime, you go and you do a bunch of, the police go and they interview and they write down these handwritten notes, and then they go and they find this parking ticket somewhere that somebody had gotten for a citation on something, and then they go and they find their previous address, and then they find the person who saw the person do. So it's this bringing together of different pieces of data. So that is the opportunity, bringing together this data. And so what we see is this money to go buy another TV station. Hugely profitable. But it wasn't risky, because that TV station is worth more to Ted Turner than I think to anybody else in the world. So he had an advantage, right? So that's one way to compete. One reason that it should be you to go after the opportunities, you have an advantage. The second reason is because of disruption. You're going to change the rules. So now, Google disrupted the advertising market. Actually, the internet disrupted the advertising market. Google just happened to take advantage of it. So it used to be, to go into advertising, you would have to have, multi-million-dollar budget, and you go in, at least in New York City, you go into this glass building, and you walk in, and there's these nice elevators, and some gentleman in a big suit with a VP of marketing comes in, and he brings in his ad guys, and they give you some big concept and millions of dollars. The profit is greater than the GDP of Nicaragua. I mean, this is a big company. And I can tell you the business model in 30 seconds. And I can tell you why IBM. One is, we really do have technology differentiation. We've got a lot of patents. We've got a lot of technology that's really unique. And we have a phenomenal sales force. It really answers these questions. The question is, who will my customer be? Who am I selling to? What am I selling? How am I going to get paid? Basic stuff, right? How am I going to get the product to them, the service? How am I make sure they really enjoy the experience? Because I want them to come back. It's very expensive to get a new customer. It's much better to have your old customers come back over and over. I met a VP of Coca-Cola once, and VP of marketing at Coca-Cola, and he said, we don't really want the new customer. What we really want is the old customer, instead of buying one Coke a day, buy 2. So the new customer is very expensive to get. And then the last one is, how am I going to provide all of this at a cost lower than what the customer is taking? Because at the end of the day, I really do want to make a profit, unless you're not a profit. All right, so planning components. I'm going to leave it to you guys to go onto the internet and really get all the pieces of the business plan and all the detailed information. I have some things that we could pick. The Small Business Administration of the U.S., which is www.sba.gov, I think. It's a really nice list of all the components of the business plan. I I changed it a little bit, but I think it's good enough. And there's other sources. So you can get the details, but unless you have the opportunity in the business model and you can explain it in 30 seconds, there's really no point in going through the details. So what you need in the business plan, you need an executive summary. You need that kind of one-page, one-paragraph thing that says, what am I doing here? So that people, because not everybody's going to want to read your 50-page document. You need a market analysis. This is really proving to yourself that the opportunity exists. Number one thing, so I used to be the equity analyst in Asia, right, Goldman Sachs. What was the difference between a number one buy-rated company and a sell? Management team. Matters a lot who you have running the company. IBM has this management school, I'll link it to you and they tell you things about doing the management. But the thing that was interesting is they've done a bunch of research and it turns out, and it's some amazing amount of, and if it's this long-term investment, if they only buy once every 20 years, if it's a mission-critical investment, nobody ever got fired for buying IBM or Microsoft, but you could bet you they got fired for buying a small entrepreneurial organization that didn't work out. Patents, trademarks, regulatory restrictions. So the last piece of this business plan that I'm going to tell you is, once you're in the market, create your own barrier, right? I used to work for this guy named David Grossman. He was an IBM executive. He was a distinguished engineer, which means he was a technology executive. And he's gone out and started his own company. I was talking to him the other day and saying, again, what do you think? He said, yeah, I can't believe how important reputation is. Reputation, right? So let me just give an example. These are cars in the United States. Toyota Camry, the Lexus. Lexus is the big brand.
Recession. We are just out of recession, and considering the present situation of Greece, the economists are predicting that we may have a recession again. So, what do you think? We should start a business right now, or is it a better time?
Never waste a good opportunity. A good crisis is actually a really good opportunity. So, I think the answer is it depends. The nice thing about a crisis. The thing about an economic downturn is there's no gold rush. In the dot-com, everybody was starting a business. Everybody in their country was quick. In a downturn, nobody's thinking about that. Everybody's thinking about, okay, how do I hold on to this job? I'm going to stay right here. So it is actually a real big opportunity. If you have, I'll tell you, I wouldn't do it unless I was really sure that I could do it well. But if I thought I had a great idea and I could do it well, I'd do it. Because I think that you can get funding more easily. There aren't a lot of other people coming into the space, so it gives you a little bit more of that white space.